Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I am back with another adorable gnome Valentine. Hey everybody, so I am using Jaded Blossom's Random Heart stencil. That's my favorite, along with label shaped dies, their rainbow dies, their gnome dies, the XOXO stamp set, along with the outline dies. I don't show that, but I do use them. Spring dies too, and the gnome dies Valentine add-ons. So I went ahead and I put together my two items. My sentiment was stamped with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and cut out with my label shape sentiments, or label shape dies, and then I put together my gnome. And everything will be listed on my blog. So right now I've got a paper tray ink white A2 size card base, scored at, or 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. And I'm using the Tailored Expressions circle masking circle. And I've lined it up with the little etch lines and I've put it in place. And now I'm using a blending brush and Distress Oxide ink in Tattered Rose. That kind of matches the colors that I have going on with my gnome. It's sort of like a peachy pink. And I'm going to blend that in from the edges with a bit of a lighter hand, but not too light because I want it to show up. I want to have a defined circle on my card. So I'm just sort of going in from the edge, making sure that I have some good color transfer and all that. So I kind of, every once in a while, I kind of forget about the stencils. So this time I thought, oh, I'm going to use stencils. I'm going to use the stencils. So now you see I slipped that stencil from Jaded Blossom, the Random Hearts, behind the masking stencil from Tailored Expressions. And now I'm going to blend with a heavier hand and fill in the hearts. So I want the hearts to be, obvious. I want people to see that it's a heart background. And just quickly blending that on. This is all in real time. I did not speed any of this up. There we go. And now I will peel it off. And look how fun that is. It's a neat little spotlight background for my gnome. So isn't that cute? Gotta love it. So now I'm going to just make my card base, pull out my Teflon bone folder. I did use my Martha Stewart scoreboard like usual. Going to flatten that fold. There we are. And Bob's your uncle, you've got a card base. So quickly, I'm going to figure out a little nest for my gnome. I always say that I try to build a little nest for my image. Draw the eye in. So part of that is going to be that heart background. And I'm going to pull in, I'll first stick down that sentiment using it's an AdTech glue runner. It's just a cheapo that I'm trying to use up. And I'm going to apply that to the center bottom of my card, roughly, just eyeballing it. And, I'm not the best at eyeballing these days, let me tell you. I don't know. I tell you, it's my eyes. You're getting old when your eyes start to go. Got the cheaters on, but it just seems like it's hard to line things up straight and centered. Like, before it was like no problem, but now it's, now it's a process. So I'm just going to grab, make sure that's on there. Use my Teflon bone folder just to make sure it has good contact with my background. And now I'm going to use my my clouds that were cut out using my rainbow dies and the spring dies too, with Paper Tray Ink white cardstock and CTI Glamma translucent paper, which is just a lightweight vellum. I think it's 29 pound and it's from cutcardstock.com. And I'm going to apply these to my card with some art glitter glue. And I'm just sort of slipping them in behind my sentiment. I'm going to use that glue runner to add the little vellum pieces. Now the idea is I'm going to hide that adhesive behind the gnome itself. So you could sort of see the vellum clouds, but you're not going to see the tape runner. At least that's the plan. And there we are. So just, got my little nest going. Trying to decide if I'm going to use that last cloud. So I put my gnome in place. And I realize, you can see that dot glue runner. So I do take a glue, like a little adhesive eraser, I guess it's called. And I do remove a little bit of it before I stick down my gnome. using the same glue runner there, or tape runner, whatever you want to call it. That's why my little adhesive eraser is lying out. You need one of those if you don't have one of those. They're awesome. Really gets any kind of errant adhesive off. It works really well. And there we go. So that is the look of my card right there. Add a little bit of art glitter glue to make sure it's the top of the hat is stuck down well. I am loving, I don't even need to say this. You know that I am loving these dies from Jaded Blossom. I love their dies. I love the stitching. I just think they're fabulous. Okay, so now I opened up my card base and I'm going to use some, I think this is from scrapbook.com, their mint tape. And I'm just going to mask off an area straight across the bottom of the inside of the card. And the idea is I'm going to add some of that random heart stencil to the bottom of the card, sort of like how I do when I add pattern paper to the inside of a card base. I just want to, add a little bit of interest, make it look a little more special on the inside. And that's easy to do with the stencil. Like I said, you just grab some, you could use Post-it tape if you'd like. I'm using scrapbook.com mint adhesive tape, but whatever, like a low tack tape. Mask off your area and apply some ink with your blending brush. That's a Tailored Expressions blending brush, actually. I use those ones for my Distress Oxide inks. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of that oxide ink around the edge, just because I want to define it, sort of like I did on the front with the circle. I'm just defining that rectangle and, making it pop a little bit. At least I think it's making it pop a little bit. You'll have to let me know what you think, but there we go. And then I will peel that off. Now, this is why I like working on a Stampin' Up! pad of paper or a piece of paper, because, you can get ink on it. I use it over and over again. I'll use it for adhesive, throw it out, get a new piece. It's really handy. And I love the graph because then you could line things up on it, which is what I did with that tape. So now I have the XOXO that was stamped out on the Sweet Blush cardstock from Paper Tray Ink and cut out with the outline dies. Using my Gemini machine, I do all my die cutting on my Gemini machine. There we are. It's my favorite. And I had a little bit of a glue plug that I had to fix in this little bottle that I keep my art glitter glue in. And there we go. I'm just going to apply a little bit of that, grab my reverse tweezers, and then I will pop that down. Just, wipe off the excess so you don't get a gloppy mess on the inside of your card. Because you know what'll happen? You'll glue your card shut. And I know that because I've done that before. So you want to be careful when you're using glue on the inside of your card. Okay, I decided it did need the wings. So I used Heidi Swapp's, it's an 8-inch pad. It's called Marquee Love. And it's a really lightweight paper. And I cut out the wings and I just cut them in half because I'm going to slip them in behind the gnome. Now, normally they're attached and you can layer them easily, but because I decided after I wanted to add the wings, I decided to cut them in half. And this worked fine. So using my art glitter glue again to stick those down. They're very lightweight. It's okay if you're using it for something like this. You wouldn't want to pop up paper like this because it is too lightweight for that. But it's fine for this. Look at that. And it cut like a dream with my Gemini, let me tell you. Okay, now I grabbed my glossy accents that's in one of these cheapo little bottles too. And I'm going to be adding Studio Katia's Clear Hearts with some glossy accents. And, like I always say, straddle the image, visual triangle, all that stuff, odd numbers. And I'm using my Studio Katia embellishment wand to pick up each one and get them in place. There we go. Isn't that fun? Now, everything I use to put together my gnome, basically everything that I use will be listed on my blog in case you want to make it exactly the same, or see what kind of paper. The only pattern paper on this is the red part of his hat, which came from Martha Stewart's Enchanted Woodland, but you could have used a solid cardstock for that. I was just using a leftover scrap. So I'm just making sure all of these are straight just because I kind of want them straight. And then there you go. Like, isn't that fun? I love these gnomes. Love them, love, love, love them, love them, love them. There we go. Fun stuff, eh? So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog to get inspired. Hop on over to the Jaded Blossom store and maybe get your hot little hands on some of these products because they are amazing. I love Jaded Blossom. Obviously, I'm on their design team, so I'm a little biased, but I've always loved Jaded Blossom's designs. They have great owners too. And that's about it. So thanks so much for stopping by and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And we will see you soon in my next one. Bye, everyone.